About Carlsbad. The famous Czech king and Holy Roman Emperor Charles IV, also known by the title Father of the Nation, sought to both consolidate and expand his empire by marriage, and also by means of skillful negotiation. Sometimes, though, when he saw further than those who cared only for themselves, it was not possible to avoid having to take a sword into his hands and to enforce his will in a different manner. After one such military campaign, he rested at Loket Castle. During the heavy fighting, however, he suffered a leg injury that did not heal well. The king's doctors strictly recommended him not to put any strain on the leg and to rest in bed. He endured lying down for just a few days, and then, despite all the urging of his attendants, he let his horse be saddled and set off with his most loyal companions to go hunting in the deep forests around the Eger River. They had travelled for some time without a catch when suddenly the dogs startled a huge deer from a thicket. The animal, however hard he tried, failed to shake off the experienced hunters with a pack of hounds. Finally, they drove him straight to the edge of a high cliff. The dogs were approaching him inexorably, and the frightened animal, backed into a trap, hesitated about how to respond. But as soon as the deer, through the furious barking, also heard the pounding of horses, he reared up in despair, and with a prodigious leap, he jumped down. On the basis of this story, the rock was later named Deer's Leap. The hunters, however, did not linger on the rock too long and set off down to the valley in search of their prey. They struggled their way through the woods while also encouraging their dogs, but they were still unable to find the deer anywhere. Then one of the dogs disappeared, and a desperate howl echoed through the forest. The men were frightened. Had he perhaps encountered one of the dangerous denizens of the forest? They followed the direction of the desperate sound and carefully parted the bushes. It turned out that the dog had fallen into a deep pool and had been scrambling in vain, attempting to reach the shore. He was groaning in pain, and so one of the hunters jumped in to get him. The water was hot, and he swallowed some of that water while he was exerting all his force to pull the dog out. It had the taste of iron. Also at that moment, the king arrived, who, due to his injury, had been slower in pursuit of the deer than the rest of his group. Charles IV had toured Europe in its entirety, and he therefore immediately realized that there were healing springs on this site. He ordered setting up camp there, and for several days he stayed there with his companions and bathed his injured leg in the warm springs until his wounds had healed. Then he ordered his subjects to found a spa there for the benefit and health of all. As one of the first constructions there, King Charles IV ordered that a stone throne should be carved adjacent to the hot thermal spring, from where he could comfortably rule while, at the same time, also heal his wounds from battles. The spa rapidly achieved fame, and based on that, it also expanded. Over time, people also found other springs, constructed baths, colonnades, and honoured it with a statue of the spirit of the springs, who, according to legend, cast a spell on the boiling water to make it stay in the rock. However, he is unable to keep it there forever, and therefore, from time to time, under close supervision, he allows it to be released to the surface. Today, though, we know that water is warmed by heat emanating from the earth, and that it acquires its healing properties during its passage through the rock to the ground surface. At the spa, guests are still able to see what this wild seepage looks like. Since that time, a number of famous physicians have also examined how to best utilize the healing potential of the mineral springs. And so today, the spa guests can enjoy the best quality of care. Warm baths that relax their muscles and heal their wounds as they did at one time for the famous Czech ruler, after whom the spa is named, Carlsbad.